Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk you through the German ABC or ABC in English. I'm in the first round just going to read the letters to you individually, and in the second round I'll read them together with some vocabulary that you will see very frequently as a beginner. Alright, let's jump in. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V X Y Z Ä Ö Ü SZ. Alright, I'm giving you examples and I'm also explaining a few things as we go through this a second time. So this one is A, as for example in Abend. And this letter actually has a short and a long version, as do all vowels in German. But as a beginner, don't really worry about these technicalities. Just learn it together with the words and you'll then pronounce it the right way kind of automatically. It's not worth it spending too much time on the technicalities. So here the good example is Abend, which means evening. Abend. Then B, like Berlin. That's Berlin, the German capital. Then C, computer. This letter has two pronunciations. The one that you see here, which sounds similar to K in German, is the more frequent one. There is another one that sounds softer, as in the word cent, like €1 has 100 cents. And in this context, it's pronounced similar to English, much softer. Cent, which in English would also be cent. It's basically like English. And you have to guess it from the context, but most common is K, like computer. Then D, as in Deutsch, German, Deutsch. E wie er, that means he, er. F, like Film, that's film in English, Film auf Deutsch. In German it's exactly like English, I would say, basically no difference. Then G, like gut, that means good, gut. And H, like hallo, that's hello, hallo. We have then I, as in ich, that means I, ich. Then J, as in ja, yes, ja. This has the exact same pronunciation as the letter I that we saw before, as in ich, I, and Ja, J is exactly the same. We just see this letter more often in the beginning of some words. And fun fact, traditionally the Roman alphabet didn't distinguish between those letters. It only had the letter I as in ich, but for aesthetic and other reasons it's separated. But the pronunciation in German is exactly the same. Then K as in Kind, that means child, Kind. And L as in Lektion, that means lesson, Lektion. M wie Musik, music, Musik. N is pronounced in Name, 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 also same as English. And O we can say Opa, that means grandpa, Opa, not to be confused with Korean Oppa, which is an older man for a girl. But anyways, this is a German lesson, not a Korean lesson. So O as in Opa. And then P as Papa, which means dad, Papa. Q, this actually is a very rare letter, and it always appears together with the letter U, as you see here in the example, Quelle, source, Quelle. And that's not a very frequent word, I admit it, but there are simply no frequent words with that letter. You most likely won't come across it very often during A1 level. Then R, as in rot, red, rot. That's a very tricky letter because it has kind of different pronunciations in different places of words, and also different pronunciations according to different regions that you're talking about. If you go more to the south, as for example to Switzerland, where I'm based, the R tends to be more like a rough, more in the back of the throat. And in the northern regions, it tends to be pronounced more softly. And also in the end of the letter, sometimes the letter isn't pronounced at all. So for example, the letter E here, when I go back to that, So I might say I might pronounce it, but perfectly standard pronounced German might just pronounce it and you might not pronounce it like an R at all. So that's a bit tricky, and you just need to learn it together with context and with other words. And I just remember the word rot, red, rot. And then S as in sehr, very, sehr. T is pronounced like tschüss, that means bye, tschüss. U you find in the word und, which means and, und. V you find it in the word von, from, von. And this letter V, or V in English, is pronounced exactly the same as the letter F in German, A, B, C, D, E, F. And that is kind of tricking many students. Some of my French-speaking students always pronounce this kind of too soft, as in a voiced vowel, like V, but it is not V, but it is F, just like F, like in the word from, for example. It's a hard F. And then we have V, as in wer, who, wer. X. This is another very rare one. We have a few words that start with X, for example, the xylophone, the musical instrument, but they are super rare. So I chose a more frequent word that you actually find as a beginner, but the X is not in the beginning, and that word is box. And it's also same as the English box, and in German it's also box. And then Y, as in yoga, yoga. Yoga is the same. And this letter is also pronounced the same as I, like in ich, I, and J as in ja. Those three letters, I, J, and Y, they all have the same pronunciation in German. And then we have Z as in Zahl, that means number, Zahl. And then we have a few special letters that are only here in German. One of them is is also called A umlaut. Umlaut means just the letter with these two dots on top. And one example for that is Äpfel. That means apples. Äpfel. We also have Ö umlaut, or I should say Ö or O umlaut. And a common example here is öffnen, to open, öffnen. And for Ü, we have an example that is über, over, über. You can also call this U umlaut, just like the others, but the more easy way to say it is just Ü. And another fun fact, the ride-hailing company Uber is just this word, the German word über, but it's kind of misspelled. They just left away the umlaut, but the original word for this is actually über, which means over or above. And then we also have one more letter. This is an SZ, and you find it, for example, in the word groß, big, groß. And the effect of this letter is it's like a double S, like SS, but it doesn't shorten the vowel in front of it. So usually if you just have two individual S, like two other consonants, the vowel in front of them gets shortened. But with this SZ, that doesn't happen. So instead of groß, it is groß. That's the utility of this SZ. And these were the German letters, the alphabet. And if you found this useful, you might also like to learn about some special pronunciations, because sometimes 2 or 3 letters in German have a different pronunciation when they're put together. And you can learn about that in this video that I am linking to you right here. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye, tschüss!